So I hope my screen is visible now. It should be visible now. And let me just quickly start with the agenda for today. So our agenda for today is first is definitely we will will complete that Python script. I will try to understand that the one that we are trying to complete from last 2 days, the GMT+5 script. And the next thing is like we will continue our discussion with the DNS part. Okay, so there are a lot of things that we're kind of discussing today, like how kind of DNS can help us, DNS logs can help us in kind of detecting multiple attacks. Okay, so this is something kind of we'll be kind of looking at today, and if time permits today, we will be also kind of looking at how DNS can be misused by the attacker. Okay, so let's quickly start with the the py script that I was kind of trying to kind of share that with you guys. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so it's restoring, and in the meantime, just let me go and share that script with you guys. Some issues, so just let me try that again and share that with you. Yep. So this is the script, guys, that kind of is actually a base script, and which so here my plan is not to make the things more complicated, but just to give you an idea, kind of like how you can use this script at least as a base model to kind of understand how actually thing is that G tool actually works in background. So yesterday we actually saw the G clocks in much more details. What are the different kind of logs that it produces? So one of the things that we wanted to kind of actually as a kind of automation, we wanted to kind of avoid, let's say we want to avoid using the G tools. So how we can kind of come up with our own script that can help us into kind of generating the similar kind of logs. Okay, and so as I have already told earlier, this base script can be used to kind of what you can do is that you can kind of add more features in this script to kind of like, let's say, perform additional kind of alert analysis whenever it is needed. Okay, so let me just quickly go to this one and let me see what the files we have here. So we have the pcap file over here. So let me just go to the cd pcap and here and ls. So we have input.pcap. We will just create a file known as zp.py, for example, and we will paste the data. Okay. Let me just quickly do that. Okay. There we go. And I'll just do it like input.pcap. Okay. So now, thing is that I'll just quickly kind of try to explain this code in layman terms. So what this code is kind of doing. So what again, similar to the one that we saw for the netflow log, what we are doing over here is that we are again using the PySark module. The PySark module, as I told earlier, that it is similar to Wireshark. So Wireshark actually does a lot of things for us. Like it captures the packet. It also kind of gives us the packet details. Like it parses the packet. Like for example, when it gets the packet something like this, the one that is highlighted in blue, the binary format, it is able to understand that binary format and is able to kind of parse that thing for us. Okay, like this one has been parsed over here, and that shows the IP header, the TCP header, and the TLS header, like what all things are there. Okay, so thing is that in similar way, the PySark module can kind of help us in kind of parse any kind of packet. And now what I am doing is that I have created a function known as parse pcap, and I'm calling this function with the file that I want to kind of parse, or the pcap file. So I have earlier saved this pcap file, this pcap packets that is kind of showing up over here, and kind of saved it as input.pcap. Okay, so now thing is that what we are doing over here is that we are passing this file as a file name to this function over here. Okay, and now this is the definition of the pcap file, parse pcap function. Okay, so the first thing that we are doing is let me just quickly, some lagging going on. Okay, so now let's quickly go through one by one what this code is doing. Okay, so now in this part, this line is something like it defines the definition of the function. Okay, so the first thing what we are doing is we are processing that file name, the one that we have kind of shared to this function. Okay, using the PySark module, and this is how we do that. We just need to write PySark.file capture and file name. That's it, and we'll get in a variable. We'll get an object actually, which will contain all the pcap files that has been kind of parsed. Okay, now what we are doing over here is we are creating two log files. So right now, similar to how glogs generates different kind of log files for us, what we are doing is we are trying to keep the code at minimal, and we are trying to only produce the DNS log and the HTTP log. Okay, so that's the only two things we'll try to kind of achieve using this code. But we can kind of, if needed, we can kind of add more features and can kind of add kind of, how do you say, generate more kind of different kind of log files from here. Okay, so for an example, one of the things that you guys can also do as an exercise, for an example, if as you have seen yesterday that there was a weird.log that was created by the jig file, which actually kind of detect lot of what to say, lot of protocols which were like not expected. So if a malware is trying to kind of communicate with the C2 server on a different protocol which is not known, so that thing, that kind of activity will kind of get recorded in this weird.log. So one of the issue with the jig is that there are a lot of false positive alerts in the weird.log that we also saw yesterday when we went over here. And let me just quickly showcase that to you. Okay, there's some issues. Okay, so as I was telling, like the weird log will have a lot of false positive alert, but maybe one or two will be good one. Okay, so thing is that if you guys know about how to kind of generate this kind of log on your own rather than depending on jig, so maybe you could come up with certain script which will generate the weird.log similar to how jig log does, but with less false positive, maybe much better than how jig does. Okay, so that's the reason it's very, very important to kind of understand how the things work at a code level, so that you can kind of add those extra functionality, maybe to the existing jig file, or kind of develop some certain other softwares for yourself. Okay, so this is how things are going over here. Like what we are doing is like we are generating HTTP logs and the DNS log, and I just want to check if I'm audible. Okay, yeah, I'm audible. So thing is that now let's see what I'm doing over here is that once we have that parsed captured file in the cap variable, what we are doing is we are going